The year 2245 marked humanity's first encounter with an intelligent alien species. It began as a day like any other, until a massive, shimmering spaceship appeared in Earth's orbit, its sleek and organic design unlike anything seen before. Governments and space agencies worldwide scrambled to respond, their fear and curiosity mingling as they monitored the colossal vessel. In a matter of hours, the world's leading scientists, military officials, and political leaders gathered at the United Nations headquarters in New York City. The air was thick with tension and excitement as they awaited the extraterrestrial visitor's next move. News channels broadcasted live updates, and social media buzzed with speculation and theories. The spaceship's surface shimmered, and a beam of light descended to the ground, forming a portal. From this portal emerged the Valarans, a race of tall, graceful beings with striking features and bioluminescent skin. At their head was High Matriarch Thaliana, a figure who exuded both elegance and authority. Thaliana stepped forward, her eyes scanning the gathered crowd before she spoke. Her voice, amplified through unseen technology, was melodious yet commanding. "People of Earth," she began, "I am High Matriarch Thaliana of the Velaran Dominion. We come in peace, seeking to establish relations with your world. Our civilizations stand to gain much from mutual cooperation." The world held its breath as Thaliana extended a hand in friendship. Earth's leaders, led by President Samuelson of the United States, cautiously approached, engaging in a historic handshake that signaled the beginning of a new era. Over the following days, negotiations commenced. The Valarans revealed their advanced technology and spoke of their peaceful intentions. Humanity marveled at their capabilities, including energy sources far beyond Earth's current understanding and medical advancements that could eradicate many of the diseases plaguing humankind. As the negotiations progressed, it became clear that the Valarans had a specific agenda. On the seventh day of talks, Thaliana requested a private audience with Earth's top representatives. The meeting room buzzed with anticipation and unease as Thaliana, flanked by her closest advisors, began to speak. "While we have much to offer your species," Thaliana said, her eyes meeting those of President Samuelson, "we also have a significant request. Our society is matriarchal, and we have reached a critical juncture in our genetic evolution. To ensure the continued strength and diversity of our species, we seek to introduce new genetic material." There was a moment of stunned silence before Samuelson found his voice. "What exactly are you proposing, High Matriarch?" Thaliana's gaze was steady. "We require a human male to serve as a genetic donor. Our studies have identified Captain John Mitchell as the ideal candidate. His genetic profile possesses qualities we deem beneficial." The room erupted into murmurs and exclamations. Captain John Mitchell, a decorated officer known for his bravery and intellect, was currently stationed on the International Space Station. The ethical implications of such a request weighed heavily on the minds of Earth's leaders. Samuelson raised a hand to quiet the room. "This is an unprecedented request, Thaliana. While the potential benefits of your technology are immense, we must consider the moral and ethical ramifications. Captain Mitchell must be given a choice in this matter." Thaliana nodded. "Of course, we respect your customs and the autonomy of your people. Captain Mitchell's consent is paramount." Within hours, Captain John Mitchell was contacted and briefed on the situation. Shocked and initially incredulous, John took time to consider the gravity of the proposal. He consulted with ethicists, his family, and fellow officers. The weight of humanity's future lay heavy on his shoulders. After days of contemplation, John agreed to meet with Thaliana and her council. He was transported from the ISS to Earth, where he was received with honor and respect. Face to face with Thaliana, he listened as she explained the intricacies of their need and the potential for humanity's advancement through Valaran technology. "I understand the significance of what you ask," John said, his voice steady. "And I understand the potential benefits for both our species. I accept your proposal, not only out of duty but also out of hope for a brighter future for humanity." Thaliana inclined her head in gratitude. "Thank you, Captain Mitchell. Together, we shall forge a path to a new era of cooperation and growth." With John's agreement, the foundation was laid for an alliance that would reshape the destiny of both humans and Valarans, setting the stage for an extraordinary journey into the unknown. John Mitchell's decision to become the Valarans' genetic donor did not come without personal sacrifices. As he prepared for his journey to Valara, he spent his final days on Earth visiting family and friends, explaining his choice and reassuring them of his safety. The global media followed his every move, portraying him as both a hero and a symbol of humanity's potential. The day of departure arrived. John boarded a sleek Valaran shuttle, its design a testament to their advanced engineering. The interior was a blend of organic materials and cutting-edge technology, a stark contrast to the utilitarian spacecraft he was accustomed to. As the shuttle ascended, Earth's blue horizon gradually disappeared, replaced by the vastness of space. The journey to Valara was a marvel. The Valaran ship, capable of faster-than-light travel, zipped through the cosmos, revealing nebulae, distant stars, and planets in breathtaking detail. John spent his time conversing with Valaran scholars, learning about their history, culture, and the importance of genetic diversity in their society. Despite the initial language barrier, advanced translation devices facilitated seamless communication. After several days of travel, Valara came into view. The planet was a vibrant mosaic of greens, blues, and purples, its landscapes teeming with life. As the shuttle descended through the atmosphere, John gazed in awe at the sprawling cities that seemed to grow naturally from the ground, harmoniously integrated with the planet's lush environment. Upon landing, John was greeted by a delegation led by High Matriarch Thaliana. The reception was grand, with Velaran citizens lining the streets, their bioluminescent skin glowing in patterns of welcome and curiosity. John was escorted to the Palace of Life, a magnificent structure that combined organic forms with intricate architecture, symbolizing the Valarans' reverence for life and nature. Inside the palace, John met Thaliana and her council, which included Maya, a fierce warrior with a commanding presence, and Ilara, a wise scientist known for her groundbreaking research. Thaliana introduced John to his new role and the expectations placed upon him. He would undergo rigorous training to adapt to Valaran biology and customs, ensuring the success of his mission. John's first days on Valara were a whirlwind of new experiences. The Palace of Life was a vast complex with training facilities, research labs, and living quarters, all designed to facilitate his adaptation. His schedule was packed with sessions led by experts in various fields, from physiology to Valaran social etiquette. One of his primary instructors was Ilara, whose calm demeanor and vast knowledge made her an invaluable mentor. She guided John through the intricacies of Valaran genetics, teaching him about their reproductive processes and the significance of genetic diversity. Her gentle yet thorough approach helped John grasp the complexities of his role. Physical training was overseen by Maya, who pushed John to his limits. The Valaran atmosphere and gravity were slightly different from Earth's, requiring John to build endurance and strength. Maya's training sessions were grueling but effective, transforming John's body to better suit the environmental demands of Valara. Despite the intensity of his training, John found moments of respite. He explored the palace gardens, marveling at the exotic flora and fauna, many of which glowed with bioluminescence. He also formed bonds with some of the palace staff and other Valarans, who were eager to learn about Earth and its inhabitants. One evening, Thaliana invited John to a private dinner. The dining hall was adorned with luminescent plants, casting a soft, ethereal glow. Thaliana's presence was both regal and warm as she inquired about John's progress and well-being. "How are you finding Valara, John?" she asked, her eyes reflecting the ambient light. "It's unlike anything I've ever experienced," John replied honestly. "The beauty, the technology, the people, it's all so different yet fascinating." Thaliana smiled. "I'm glad to hear that. We understand that our request is unusual, but we believe this union will benefit both our species. Your dedication is commendable." As they dined, Thaliana shared stories of Valaran history and legends, painting a picture of a society that valued harmony and growth. John listened intently, appreciating her openness and the insight into Valaran culture. The day of the first union approached. and John was introduced to Aloria, a prominent Valaran diplomat chosen for the initial genetic exchange. Their meeting was filled with a mix of curiosity and nervousness. Aloria's demeanor was composed, yet John sensed her underlying apprehension. The ceremony was conducted with solemnity and respect. Surrounded by Valaran elders and scientists, John and Aloria entered the Union Chamber, a sacred space adorned with symbols of life and continuity. The Union was both a scientific procedure and a deeply spiritual act for the Valarans, blending their advanced technology with ancient traditions. Despite the initial awkwardness, John and Aloria found common ground, their interaction driven by mutual respect and the shared goal of strengthening their species. The success of this first union set a positive tone for the future, deepening the bond between humans and Valarans. As John settled into his new role, he realized that his journey was not just about genetics, but also about bridging two worlds, fostering understanding, and paving the way for a future of cooperation and shared prosperity. In the Palace of Life, John Mitchell's days were a blur of intense training and adaptation. The Valarans left no stone unturned in preparing him for his role as the breeding bull. His training covered physical, mental, and cultural aspects, ensuring he was fully integrated into Valaran society. Ilara, the wise scientist, took the lead in John's physiological training. She introduced him to a regimen of specialized exercises designed to enhance his strength and endurance in Valara's slightly different gravity and atmospheric conditions. John found himself running through holographic simulations, lifting weights made from materials lighter and stronger than anything on Earth, and even practicing meditation techniques to align his mind with Valaran bioenergetic principles. John's mental training was equally rigorous. Ilara tutored him in the complexities of Valaran genetics, their reproductive processes, and the significance of his contributions. He learned about Valaran culture, history, and the social structures that governed their matriarchal society. Despite the overload of information, John's curiosity and determination kept him engaged. Maya, the fierce warrior, was responsible for John's combat training. Although his primary role was non-combative, the Valarans believed in the importance of self-defense and resilience. Maya pushed John to his physical limits with grueling drills, hand-to-hand combat sessions, and strategic exercises. Under her guidance, John honed his reflexes and combat skills, gaining newfound respect for the discipline and dedication of Valaran warriors. Throughout this period, John formed bonds with several Valarans. He became friends with Rilan, a young scientist who shared his fascination with Earth's technology, and Lyra, a healer who taught him about Valaran medicine. These relationships helped John feel more at home, easing his transition into this alien world. The day of the first union arrived, bringing a mix of anticipation and anxiety. John had been introduced to Aloria, the Valaran diplomat chosen for the initial genetic exchange, and their interactions had been positive. However, the gravity of the occasion weighed heavily on both of them. The union ceremony was held in the Sanctum of Life, a sacred chamber within the palace. The room was adorned with luminescent flora, casting a serene glow that added to the solemnity of the occasion. High Matriarch Thaliana and the council members were present, along with scientists and spiritual leaders, to oversee the procedure. Aloria stood beside John, her calm demeanor belying her nerves. They exchanged respectful nods before entering the central chamber, where advanced medical technology awaited. The union was a blend of tradition and science, with ceremonial chants and rituals accompanying the genetic exchange process. Despite the initial awkwardness, John and Aloria approached the union with a sense of purpose and mutual respect. The procedure was intricate, involving the careful extraction and combination of genetic material to ensure compatibility and diversity. As the process unfolded, John felt a connection to Aloria, not just as individuals, but as representatives of their respective species. The success of the first union was met with relief and celebration. John and Aloria's genetic compatibility was perfect, setting a positive precedent for future unions. The Valaran Council expressed their gratitude to John, acknowledging his bravery and dedication. For John, The experience deepened his understanding of Valaran society and strengthened his resolve to fulfill his role. Not all Valarans were pleased with the integration of a human into their genetic pool. A faction led by the ambitious and purist Serena viewed John's presence as a threat to their genetic purity and cultural identity. Serena, a formidable figure with a powerful following, began to stir dissent among the populace. The tensions came to a head one night when John's quarters were sabotaged. He awoke to the sound of alarms and the sight of smoke filling his room. Reacting quickly, he used his training to escape the immediate danger, alerting the palace security in the process. The attack failed to harm him, but exposed the growing divide within Valaran society. Thaliana and the council were swift to respond. An investigation revealed Serena's involvement, and she was summoned to answer for her actions. The confrontation in the council chamber was tense, with Serena defending her actions as necessary for preserving Valaran purity. "John Mitchell's presence here undermines everything we stand for," Serena argued, her voice filled with conviction. "We cannot allow our genetic heritage to be diluted by an outsider." Thaliana's response was calm but firm. "Our society is built on the principles of growth and adaptation. John represents a unique opportunity for us to enhance our genetic diversity. Your actions have endangered not only him, but our entire mission." The council ruled against Serena, placing her under house arrest and disbanding her faction. However, the incident left a lingering sense of unease. John, while grateful for the council's support, realized that his journey was fraught with challenges beyond the scientific and cultural. Determined to prove his worth and build bridges, John threw himself into his training and duties with renewed vigor. He continued to form connections with Valarans, earning their trust and respect through his dedication and humility. As tensions eased, he found solace in the growing acceptance of his role, knowing that his efforts were paving the way for a stronger alliance between humans and Valarans. The road ahead was uncertain, but John Mitchell was resolute. He would face whatever challenges came his way, guided by the belief that humanity and the Valarans could achieve greatness together. Despite the internal strife caused by Serena's faction, John Mitchell's integration into Valaran society continued. However, the recent attack had made it clear that not all Valarans welcomed his presence. The divide within their society became more apparent, and John knew that earning widespread acceptance was crucial for the success of his mission. The Palace of Life had increased security, and John was never alone. His training intensified not just in genetics and culture, but in diplomacy and leadership. Thaliana believed that for John to truly integrate, he needed to be seen as a leader and an ally, not just a genetic donor. John's first real test came when Serena's faction launched an outright assault on the Palace of Life. The attack was well coordinated, with rogue Valaran warriors breaching the palace's defenses. John, alongside Maya and loyal palace guards, found themselves in the midst of a fierce battle. Maya's combat training proved invaluable. John fought with a combination of Valaran techniques and his military background. The palace halls echoed with the sounds of clashing weapons and the shouts of warriors. Amid the chaos, John's focus remained clear: protect the palace and its inhabitants. The turning point came when John and Maya confronted Serena herself. The rebel leader was a formidable opponent, her skills honed from years of combat experience. The fight was intense, each side pushing the other to their limits. In a final decisive moment, John managed to disarm Serena, his resolve and training overcoming her desperation. With Serena defeated, the remaining rebels surrendered. Thaliana and the council swiftly moved to restore order, ensuring that the rebels were dealt with justly but firmly. The victory was bittersweet, highlighting the fragility of their society, but also demonstrating John's commitment and capability. In the aftermath, John was hailed as a hero. His bravery in the battle won him the respect of many who had previously doubted him. Thaliana addressed the Valaran people, reaffirming their commitment to unity and progress. The battle had solidified John's place among them, not just as the breeding bull, but as a symbol of strength and resilience. With internal threats quelled, Thaliana decided it was time to introduce John to the Galactic Council, a coalition of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations. The council was a forum for diplomacy, trade, and shared knowledge, and Thaliana believed that Earth's representation through John would strengthen their position. John, accompanied by Thaliana, traveled to the council's headquarters on the planet Zorath. The journey through hyperspace was brief, and upon arrival, John was struck by the grandeur of the council's assembly hall, a massive structure built from crystal and metal, shimmering under the alien sun. The council members were a diverse group, representing species from across the galaxy. At the head was Zoltar of the Nixians, a species known for their wisdom and neutrality. Zoltar's imposing figure, with his multifaceted eyes and iridescent skin, commanded respect. Thaliana introduced John, highlighting his role and the alliance between humans and Valarans. John spoke of his experiences and the potential benefits of their union, emphasizing humanity's willingness to learn and contribute to the galactic community. The response was mixed. Some members, like the Elorians, expressed interest and support, seeing the potential for new alliances and technological exchange. Others, however, were skeptical, questioning the wisdom of integrating a relatively primitive species like humans into their fold. Zoltar listened carefully, his expression inscrutable. After a lengthy discussion, he finally spoke. "The inclusion of humanity in our council is a matter of great importance. While there are risks, the potential for growth and collaboration cannot be ignored. I propose a probationary period during which we will observe the Human-Valaran alliance." The council agreed, and John's probationary status was set. He left the meeting feeling a mix of relief and determination. The opportunity to prove humanity's worth to the galaxy was both a challenge and an honor, one that he was determined to meet. No sooner had John settled back on Valara than a new crisis emerged. A mysterious plague began sweeping through the Valaran population, targeting their unique genetic makeup. The symptoms were severe, and the disease spread rapidly, threatening to decimate their society. Velaran scientists, led by Alara, worked around the clock to find a cure. The situation grew dire as more Valarans fell ill, and the council declared a state of emergency. John, now fully integrated into their society, was deeply affected by the suffering around him. In a desperate brainstorming session, Alara realized that John's human DNA might hold the key to a cure. The Valaran immune system, while advanced, had no defense against the plague. Human genetic material, however, had shown remarkable resilience and adaptability. John agreed without hesitation to undergo extensive testing. Samples of his DNA were analyzed, and Alara's team worked tirelessly to understand its potential applications. The breakthrough came when they discovered that a specific protein in John's DNA could neutralize the plague's effects. The process of developing a cure was painstakingly detailed. John's DNA was synthesized and adapted to create a serum. The first tests on infected Valarans showed promising results, and hope began to spread through the palace. Thaliana and the council organized a mass inoculation, prioritizing the most vulnerable and essential members of society. The cure worked, halting the plague's progression and slowly reversing its effects. The collective relief was palpable, and John's role in saving Valara was celebrated across the planet. The crisis brought John and Thaliana closer. Their bond, initially one of duty and cooperation, deepened into genuine affection. They spent hours discussing their hopes for the future, the potential of their alliance, and the challenges they had overcome. Together, they symbolized the unity and strength of their combined civilizations. As the last of the plague victims recovered, Valara began to rebuild. The experience had forged an unbreakable bond between humans and Valarans, solidifying their alliance and setting the stage for a future of shared prosperity and exploration. With the Valaran crisis behind them, John Mitchell and High Matriarch Thaliana stood as symbols of resilience and unity. Their successful collaboration in overcoming the plague had not only saved countless lives, but also strengthened the alliance between humans and Valarans. The time had come to formalize this bond and solidify their partnership for future generations. Thaliana called for a grand unification ceremony to celebrate their triumph and cement their alliance. Leaders from Earth, along with representatives from the Galactic Council, were invited to witness this historic event. The ceremony was held in the heart of Valara, a majestic amphitheater surrounded by the planet's most stunning natural beauty. The event was a blend of Valaran tradition and human customs, symbolizing the merging of their cultures. Valaran citizens and human delegates gathered, their anticipation palpable. The stage was set with symbols of both civilizations, Valaran bioluminescent flora and Earth's national flags intertwined, representing their newfound unity. John and Thaliana stood side by side at the center of the stage. Thaliana, dressed in ceremonial robes that shimmered with the colors of Valara's ecosystem, began her speech. Today, we celebrate not just our victory over adversity, but the birth of a new era, an era of unity, cooperation, and shared prosperity. John Mitchell has proven that together, we can overcome any challenge. Let this unification be a beacon of hope for our people and for all the civilizations of the galaxy. John stepped forward, his voice steady and filled with conviction. Our journey has shown us that despite our differences, we share common goals and dreams. This alliance is a testament to the power of collaboration and mutual respect. Together, we will explore the stars, advance our knowledge, and build a future where all species can thrive. The crowd erupted in applause as John and Thaliana exchanged tokens of unity, a Valaran crystal and a human-crafted medallion, each symbolizing their respective worlds. The exchange marked the official unification of their civilizations. As the ceremony concluded, John and Thaliana were joined by representatives from the Galactic Council, who expressed their support and optimism for the alliance. The unification of humans and Valarans promised a future of exploration, scientific discovery, and mutual growth, setting a positive example for the entire galaxy. Peace was short-lived as a new threat emerged from the shadows. The Shadow Fleet, a rogue group of marauders with advanced technology and a thirst for power, began targeting the Galactic Council's member planets. Their raids were swift and devastating, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The Galactic Council convened an emergency meeting to address the growing threat. Zoltar of the Nixians, the Council's leader, called upon the unified forces of Valara and Earth to lead a coalition against the marauders. Thaliana and John, now seasoned leaders, accepted the challenge, knowing that their alliance would be tested once more. John, leveraging his military expertise, coordinated with Valaran and human forces to develop a strategic plan. The coalition consisted of Valaran warriors, human soldiers, and ships from various allied species. Their mission was to track down the Shadow Fleet's base and neutralize the threat. The battles that followed were intense and grueling. The Shadow Fleet's ships were equipped with cloaking devices and powerful weapons, making them formidable opponents. John and Maya led the ground forces, while Thaliana and the Valaran fleet commander, Eloria, directed the space battles. In one particularly fierce engagement, the coalition forces managed to corner a segment of the Shadow Fleet near a desolate moon. The battle raged on multiple fronts, with starships exchanging volleys of plasma and ground troops engaging in close-quarters combat. John's tactical brilliance and Maya's combat prowess turned the tide, allowing the coalition to capture key Shadow Fleet commanders. The coalition learned that the Shadow Fleet's leader, an enigmatic figure known as Krall, had orchestrated the attacks to destabilize the Galactic Council and seize control of valuable resources. Krall's base of operations was hidden in a remote, uncharted region of space, protected by advanced defenses and loyal followers. Determined to end the threat once and for all, John and Thaliana led a daring assault on Krall's fortress. The final battle was a test of courage and ingenuity, with the coalition forces facing traps, ambushes, and relentless attacks. John's leadership inspired his troops, and Thaliana's presence galvanized the Valaran warriors. In the climactic confrontation, John and his team breached Krall's inner sanctum. The ensuing fight was brutal, with John and Krall locked in a fierce duel. Drawing upon his training and determination, John managed to overpower Krall, ending the Marauders' reign of terror. With Krall defeated and the Shadow Fleet dismantled, peace was restored to the galaxy. The Coalition's victory solidified the alliance between Earth and Valara, earning them the respect and admiration of the Galactic Council. The defeat of the Shadow Fleet marked a turning point. John was celebrated as a hero, his journey from a reluctant participant to a beloved leader complete. The Valarans and humans forged a lasting bond, paving the way for a future of exploration and discovery. As John looked toward the stars, he knew that their story was just beginning, with endless possibilities awaiting in the vast expanse of the galaxy. The defeat of the Shadow Fleet brought a renewed sense of hope and unity across the galaxy. John Mitchell, now a revered hero, returned to Valara with High Matriarch Thaliana and their coalition partners. The victory had not only ensured the safety of their worlds, but it also strengthened the bonds between the species of the Galactic Council. Upon their return, Valara was abuzz with celebration. The capital city, Arloria, was adorned with bioluminescent decorations and banners symbolizing unity and peace. Citizens from all walks of life gathered to honor the heroes who had saved their civilization from a dire threat. A grand ceremony was held in the heart of Valara, the same amphitheater where John and Thaliana had solidified their alliance. This time, it was not just a celebration of their unification, but a commemoration of their shared victory and the dawn of a new era. Thaliana addressed the crowd, her voice resonating with pride and determination. Today, we stand together, stronger and more united than ever before. The challenges we have faced have only made us more resilient. Our alliance with humanity has proven that through cooperation and mutual respect, we can overcome any obstacle. John stepped forward, his presence commanding attention. Our journey has shown us that our differences are our strengths. Together, we have forged a path to a brighter future. The galaxy is vast, and there is so much more to explore and discover. This victory is just the beginning of what we can achieve. The ceremony continued with tributes to the fallen and honors for the brave soldiers and leaders who had played pivotal roles in the campaign against the Shadow Fleet. Maya, Aeloria, and other key figures were recognized for their valor and dedication. The atmosphere was one of solemn remembrance and joyous celebration. As the formalities concluded, the festivities began. Music filled the air, and Valaran and human traditions blended in a vibrant display of cultural exchange. John found himself surrounded by friends and allies, each eager to share stories and experiences. He was particularly touched by the presence of his Earth colleagues who had traveled to Valara to witness the new chapter in interstellar relations. In a quiet moment amidst the celebration, John and Thaliana found themselves on a balcony overlooking the city. The night sky above Valara was a canvas of stars, each one representing the endless possibilities that lay ahead. "We've come a long way," John said, his voice reflective. Thaliana nodded, her gaze fixed on the horizon. "Indeed we have, but our journey is far from over. There is so much more to learn, to explore, and to achieve. Together we can create a future where all species thrive in harmony." John smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment and purpose. "I look forward to it, Thaliana. With you, with Valara, with the Galactic Council, we can make that future a reality." The next day, the real work began. The Valaran and human teams set about implementing plans for joint scientific endeavors, cultural exchanges, and exploration missions. John was instrumental in coordinating these efforts, leveraging his unique position and experiences to bridge the gaps between their worlds. One of their first projects was the establishment of a joint research station on Valara's moon. This facility would serve as a hub for scientific discovery, bringing together the best minds from both civilizations. The possibilities were endless, from advancements in medicine and technology to understanding the mysteries of the universe. In the months that followed, John and Thaliana led diplomatic missions to other planets, strengthening alliances and fostering new partnerships. The success of their cooperation served as an inspiration, encouraging other species to join their quest for knowledge and peace. As they ventured into the unknown, John couldn't help but reflect on how far he had come. From a decorated officer on Earth to a key figure in an interstellar alliance, his journey had been extraordinary. Yet he knew that this was only the beginning. The stars held countless secrets, and with Thaliana and their allies by his side, there was no limit to what they could achieve. The story of John Mitchell, the human who became a hero among the stars, and the Valarans, who embraced a new path for their species, would be remembered for generations. It was a tale of courage, unity, and the unyielding spirit of exploration. As John gazed at the stars, he felt a profound sense of belonging. The galaxy was vast, but it was also home. With a renewed sense of purpose, he looked forward to the adventures that awaited, ready to face whatever challenges came their way. Together, they would continue to explore, to discover, and to build a future where all could thrive. And so, under the luminous sky of Valara, a new dawn broke, heralding an era of endless possibilities and shared dreams. The journey had only just begun.